Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing you guys the playoffs of the GBA. StL Rampardos taking on the Borussia Donphan and Coach Scizor. Lars, definitely check him out in the description below. And if you guys could, show your love on that like button down below as well. 1,000 likes would be great for the playoffs. I mean, we're in the playoffs. It deserves some hype. But this team, somehow we made it to the playoffs. I don't know. And I'm excited that we're here. We're going to take on Lars, man. If you missed the pregame press conference, check it out. Annotation on the screen or the description below. You can see my team on the screen. And what I'm predicting Lars to bring, kind of not sure, but I'm sure there's going to be some variation. I'm sure he's going to bring the Lando, the Druddigon, probably the Azu, the Tangrowth, maybe the Crobat, Delphox, Absol, something like that. Maybe he'll mix it up totally. I don't know. I went with a little bit of a hybrid between my first two teams and some unique sets. So we'll see how things go. Question of the day today is, if you guys didn't hear, this is actually going to be the last season for the StL Rampardos in the GBA. I mentioned in the pregame. I kind of talked a little bit about it, but I'll be doing another league called the NPA coming up in just a few weeks, and the team name for that is going to be the New York Metapods. Quick reasoning why. New York Mets are my favorite sports team ever. I've loved them since I was a kid. I'm the bug maniac of YouTube, so I really like the Metapod idea, and I actually live in Connecticut, which is close to New York, not St. Louis. And everyone kept asking me, am I going to change my name to the Los Angeles Rampardos? Do I live in St. Louis? And I was like, you know what? I love the name the Rampardos. We're going to keep the name the Rampardos for the UCL moving forward. But I felt like for the other league, for the NPA, I wanted to be a new team. So I got new branding done, the New York Metapods. I'm really excited about it. I've tweeted out some artwork and stuff like that, so that's all set. So hopefully you guys are excited too. But let me know what your thoughts are. And again, this could be very, very well my last GBA match ever as a Rampardos. So we'll see how things go. And I'm going to connect with Lars, and hopefully we can come out with a W. So let me connect with him. I'll see how things go. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. All right, guys. So me and Lars are connected here. We're going to find out what team he is bringing here for the playoff match, first round of the playoffs. And if you don't know, we faced, I think it was week 3. I was able to win 3-0, and then we faced again like week 9, and I lost 3-0. So we're like pretty much dead even here. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how things turn out against his squad. I think it was 3-0. I don't even remember. But either way, we'll see what he's gonna bring here. He is going to bring a very similar team to what I expected. No Delphox though. He does bring the Azu. He brings the Mega Absol. So he pretty much brings his team from week 1. In terms of the Pokemon, I don't know, otherwise, but at least I know that, right? So let me grab a picture of Absol and put it on the screen for you guys. Mega Absol, because I put Delphox there. I had a feeling he could bring it like a Scarf Delphox, but let's run through this. So he's got Tangrowth, Landorus, Druddigon, Azu, Absol, and Crobat. My plan here the whole time is actually to lead with my my Aggron and potentially get my rocks up. Not that it does a whole lot to anything on his team, but it is crucial for some of the damage calcs I have, and I think that Aggron can put a lot of pressure on early. I've kind of went with a more defensive Aggron so far this season, but I want to go more offensive here. So that's what I'm going to do, man. That was my plan kind of moving into this matchup, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to lead with Aggron, get my Mega off right away, and now that he doesn't have Delphox, that kind of helps a little bit. Aggron is one of my primary responses to Azumarill. If he's like a belly drum Azu, then we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So definitely need Aggron, but I think getting those rocks up right away is definitely going to help me out, especially if he does lead with his Crobat. So we're just going to jump right into this matchup here. He's ready to rock, and so am I. Very excited for this matchup. Lars is a phenomenal battler. He's shown throughout the season, coming out with a very, very good record, and I believe he's actually the #1 seed in my league, so like in the conference. So I'll see what he's going to do here, man. I'm going to lead with my Aggron. He might lead with his Crobat here, Fluttermouse, which is what he's been leading with. He's actually going to lead with his Landorus here. So he gets a huge, huge jump on me by leading with his Landorus, and I'm in a little bit of trouble already because Landorus can actually put in some serious work against me. Against this set, if he is Life Orb, he actually OHKOs me with Earth Power. If he is not Life Orb, I can take one hit and Avalanche and knock this thing out. The problem is, I don't really have any good switch-ins to this thing aside from maybe Uxie, so I have a tough decision to make here. This is one of those make or break decisions. If I switch into Uxie here, he goes to knockoff, I lose my Colbur Berry right off the bat. If I stay in here, I could potentially knock out his Landorus right away, but I also could lose my Aggron if he is the Sheer Force Life Orb variant of this thing. So kind of a tough decision to make here on the first turn of the match. The safe play is to switch. I think he would most likely make the safe play of going for a knockoff or a U-turn and not going for the Earth Power, predicting my Uxie to come in, which would be kind of my default switch in. Very, very tough decision here to make, guys. I am going to probably make the play that is very risky here because I feel like I want to get rid of this Landorus. I'm thinking about going for the Avalanche on the first turn as opposed to going to my Uxie, which I know is very risky. I understand that I could potentially lose my aggron on the first turn of this match here. I am going to make that risk though. I am going to take that risk and make that play and go for the Avalanche. And I fully understand that this could cost me the match in the first turn. I know it's probably not smart to play reckless in the first turn, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm staying in here and I'm going to go for the Avalanche. He's going to go for the U-turn. So that is why I stayed in. That is why I stayed in. And we're going to find out whether he's got Life Orb or not. He does not. So I know he's not the Rock Polish Landorus that he was the past couple weeks. We know that now, and that's awesome. Now, he doesn't really have that many good switch-ins to an Avalanche either. So we're going to find out what comes in here. His best switch-in probably is the Azu. That doesn't want to take it. Drudagon doesn't want to take an Avalanche. Crobat definitely doesn't want to take an Avalanche, and neither does Spetzel. So me making a very risky play here at the beginning was worth it. I had a feeling the U-turn was coming. There was no way he was leading with Rock Polish Landorus. So now he's got a tough decision to make here, and a little bit of guts at the beginning pays off here so far. I might be able to get free rocks up, depending on what he brings in. It's clear that he doesn't have a lot of responses to Aggron. Very clear he doesn't have a lot of responses to Aggron. So, well, he does, but he doesn't have a lot of good switch-ins if I go on the offensive, which is why I brought an offensive one. So he's going to go into his Poop Dragon here, which is his Drudagon. I want to see how much this Avalanche is going to do. It should be double power because I did take damage this turn. And that is going to do pretty much nothing. It does pretty much nothing. I get hit with Rough Skin, and I'm assuming Rocky Helmet. Yes, so I do get hit with Rough Skin, Rocky Helmet. So we see that the Drudagon is most likely fully physically defensive. I'm going to just double check that. But I do believe it's fully physically defensive, and unfortunately, it looks like I don't actually get that Avalanche benefit because we didn't do nearly as much as we should have. We only got the 60 base power from it, so we did about the 35%, which is what it should have been, assuming. So I can actually get my rocks up here. We can trade rocks if I want to. His best play is probably to Dragon Tail me out or something like that, or set up his own stealth rocks. I can also switch into my Blastoise here, potentially give me a Rapid Spinner. I could switch into my Sylveon to put some offensive pressure on him. I am going to be kind of fearing a Gunk Shot, but that could work. I think I'm going to actually make that play. I think I'm going to go into my Sylveon, predicting him to potentially try to set up his stealth rocks here. Or Dragon Tail me out. If he goes for the Gunk Shot, then just amazing play, because I could have stayed in an Avalanche, so I think that he probably just set up his Stealth Rocks here, which I can Rapid Spin away. So he's actually going over the Taunt, so he brings a very similar Drudagon as he brought to last time. My Aggron is more offensive this time, and now I get to put some pressure on him with a Hyper Voice here. Now the problem is, his Drudagon could have some speed investment, although I don't really think it does. I should be able to outspeed it regardless, and Hyper Voice does knock this thing out. His best switch-in is Crobat at this point, but I do obviously have the ability to go for a Psyshock if Crobat comes in. He doesn't really have a good, reliable switch-in here to a big Hyper Voice, so I'm going to go Hyper Voice, then Psyshock, and I think we could potentially knock the Crobat out with those two. I could predict the switch here and just go for the Psyshock right off the bat, if I want to predict that Crobat coming in. He could potentially Gunk Shot me here, which is why I'm thinking about going for the Psyshock. Let me think here. Can I live a Gunk Shot from this thing? Probably not, realistically. If he's not offensively invested, Gunk Shot versus Sylveon, let me see. I'm leaning towards going for the Psyshock here, predicting the switch. That's actually what I'm leaning towards here. Let me see how much his Gunk Shot does. Gunk Shot does definitely knock me out. That's if he's not the bulky variant. Let me see if he's the bulky variant here. Because that was like the Life Orb one. Gunk Shot. Looks like it's probably gonna knock me out. No, it doesn't knock me out. So I can play a little bit risky here if I want to. I am gonna go for the Psyshock, predicting the Crobat to come in, I think. I think that's my play. I'm gonna go for the Psyshock here, predicting the Crobat. He is gonna switch out. Will he go into the Crobat? He goes in the Crobat. I'm gonna hit this thing with a Psyshock. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. You can see it does about just a little over 50%, which is how this Sylveon is set up to do. I could fire off Psyshocks all day now. If he wants to switch out, he can switch out. I don't care. I'm going to go for the Psyshock again. His switch-in is Absol. He could just Roost here to see what I'm going to do. He could go into Absol, which could just open the door for me to Hyper Voice. He might think I'm locked into this somehow as well. I'm debating on going for the Hyper Voice, predicting him to switch. Do I think he would switch here? Because he could think I'm Scarfed, but Scarf Sylveon doesn't outspeed Crobat in most situations. I'm obviously Pixie Plate. I'm just debating on whether I think that Absol's coming in next. If I go for the Hyper Voice and Absol comes in, that could be really good. I don't want to necessarily reveal that I am not Scarf or Specs, though. What are his switch-ins here? Dredagon's a switch-in. Landorus, not so much. I guess his switch into his Psyshock would likely be the Absol, but I don't think Absol can OHKO me. Maybe with Iron Tail. Let me see, Mega Absol with Iron Tail, and then he's playing with a 50% chance to hit. How much does Iron Tail do to me? It does have a chance to kill if he's Jolly. I'm gonna go for the Hyper Voice. I'm gonna make a play here and go for the Hyper Voice. He's gonna go for the Roost here, so I'll get a Hyper Voice off. He's gonna know that I'm not choice, which is kind of unfortunate, but we see the Roost. And you can see how much that does. It actually does a lot. Actually does like a good amount to him. So now my Taunt's gone too, which is really nice. I'm gonna go for a Psyshock here. If he wants to predict that, that's fine. But Psyshock is doing a lot. It's doing a little bit more than Hyper Voice is doing, so... Unfortunately, now he knows I'm not choice, but whatever, what are you gonna do? If he wants to Brave Bird or something, that's fine, I'll get 2 Psyshocks off. Psyshock would have been the better play there. I overpredicted a little bit, but that's okay. I'm getting a lot of information about his team right now. He's gonna go for the Super Fang here, which is fine. I see the Super Fang, which was of course designed for the Aggron. And I get a big chunk of damage off on him. So he might not even have Brave Bird, in all honesty. He might not even have Brave Bird. He can go for a Brave Bird here. It might not kill me. It might not kill me if he goes for Brave Bird here. Psyshock will actually clearly, like, it'll put a lot of work on him. I can go for a Wish here as well if I want to kind of stall him out. Or I can just go for a Psyshock again. Or I can even go for a Hyper Voice. I'm thinking I should go for the Hyper Voice. Predicting a potential U-turn here. If he just Brave Birds, there's a chance we live, and I should knock him out with the Hyper Voice. Perhaps I'm using, you know, Sylveon a little bit too early here. He's gonna switch out. We're gonna hit something really hard with a Hyper Voice here. He's going to Spetzel, so he's going into his Tangrowth here to potentially sponge a, you know, whatever it's called, a Psyshock. But this Hyper Voice is gonna come in, and it almost 2-hit KOs. It's close, man. Let me take a look at this Tangrowth here. Let's assume he's Assault Vest, based on the damage. Yeah, definitely Assault Vest. I can live any hit from him, unless he's got Sludge Bomb or Poison Jab. Poison Jab probably kills me. Poison Jab has a chance to kill me. Sludge Bomb does not kill me. I'm gonna go for another Hyper Voice here, put the pressure on him. I could set up a Wish. I'm just going full offensive here with the Sylveon. I will outspeed. I can fire off a Hyper Voice. We can put a lot of damage onto him. A crit will kill. We could really hurt this thing, so if he tries to regenerate or swap, he's gonna switch again. So he's gonna take another Hyper Voice here on something. And it's gonna be the Crobat. I don't know if this Crobat's gonna live this Hyper Voice. It should actually be able to knock him out. And it does. So Sylveon picks up the first kill of the match here. Sylveon kills Crobat with Hyper Voice. And that's really good. Really good. In comes Tangrowth again, and Tangrowth is looking to try to wear me down here. I'm actually gonna go for the Protect to scout out what his move is gonna be, because he's not gonna double out again. I wanna see if he has a Poison type move. And if he doubles out again, I don't really lose much from it. I lose a little bit of momentum, but he doesn't want to take another Hyper Voice. I'm gonna go for the Protect. He stays in. What's his play? Earthquake. That's his best thing to hit me with, is Earthquake. Okay, so Earthquake does like 27%. I'm gonna go for a Wish. I could take an Earthquake and Wish Protect. I'm at 99. I'm at 99 health. Let me see how much this Earthquake does. Go for the Wish. He has the Poison Jab. Great play, man. He scouts. We live on 7. No poison. Huge. I get to go for Protect right now and get all that health back. Whew. I'm going for the Protect. I know the Protect is kind of lame because it's very obvious he can easily switch out here, but I'm gonna get this Wish back, and that is gonna be awesome. And now I know I can live the hits from him, so I get my Wish back. And he's going for the Earthquake, trying to predict me to switch, but I'm thinking if I fire off 2 Hyper Voices here, we might be able to knock this thing out. Hyper Voice, at this range, it's close, man. It's a damage roll whether 2 Hyper Voices knocks him out. And I could easily Wish Protect stall him here. I could predict a Poison type move and go into Aggron, but I don't really gain much from that. I don't want to, I mean, I could go into Salamence, but he might have the HP Ice. I think my play is just to click Hyper Voice here. I know I can live a Poison Jab, and he might predict me to switch out and go for the EQ. So here comes my Hyper Voice, knocks him about to half. Here comes the Poison Jab here. We'll see how much it's going to do. It's going to knock me down to 12, and no poison. So we are playing with a damage roll here, whether this Hyper Voice is going to knock him out or not. Do I chance it is the question. Because I do have some viability with this thing still. This thing still can, you know what though? I think it's worth firing off another Hyper Voice here. He doesn't really have a good switch in, and it's gonna do a tremendous amount of damage to him. So I'm gonna go for the Hyper Voice. And it could knock him out with a damage roll. It's so close, guys. He's gonna live and he's gonna knock us out with an Earthquake. So Tangrowth kills Sylveon with EQ. I have a free opportunity to set up my Stealth Rocks now. Or I have an opportunity to go into Victini and set up a substitute. Stealth Rocks would be nice. Does he save his Tangrowth? I think he does. I think he could save his Tangrowth. I can go into Uxie and just U-turn in case he wants to switch into Druddigon. But I think going for a substitute on Victini could be really, really good here because he'll lose this thing. And if I substitute, I get a free sub up and then I can just Glaciate on whatever comes in. I'm thinking that's my best play. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go into Victini here. I'm gonna set up a substitute on him. Because I think he might try to save this thing. I might be over predicting a little bit here. But if he does, if he stays in, it's not a big deal. I could just go for a Blue Flare on the following turn. Or actually, should I just go for the attack? Because if I just Glaciate here, any switch in is gonna get slowed down, and then I could fire off a big hit after that. Can I live an Aqua Jet from Azu though? If he's Choice Banded Azu, can I live an Aqua Jet? Let me make sure he's Water type because I messed up the calc here. I can live an Aqua Jet from a Choice Banded Adamant Azu and put a lot of work in with Bolt Strike. I'm thinking I just Blue Flare here because what is Druddigon gonna do? Druddigon's gonna come in. It's gonna take a Blue Flare to the face. It's gonna be defensive. And Blue Flare plus Glaciate probably won't kill though. So I'm actually thinking I should just Glaciate in all honesty because I can slow anything down if he switches something else in too. So let's do that. I think that's my play. So just go for the Glaciate here. If he wants to save this thing, that's fine. He's gonna switch out, that's fine. I get to get a Glaciate off on something and slow it down. It's gonna be his Azu. So I didn't get to set up the, I unfortunately did not get to set up my, whatchamacallit, my substitute. Kind of an unfortunate turn of events there. I can fire off a Bolt Strike here and potentially really hurt this thing. Or I could switch out, predicting his Aqua Jet. The problem is I'll lose my Victini if he like sets up on me or whatever. Bolt Strike does 86.2% max. Almost went for the Blue Flare. If I went for Blue Flare instead of Glaciate there, I would have been able to knock this thing out in the next turn. I can't sub because of the Aqua Jets. I can go into Earhart, but if you play roughs, that's kind of tough. I think I'm gonna stay in, man. I think I'm just gonna stay in and click Bolt Strike. I could hurt this thing really badly. And realistically, Tangrowth is weakened to the point where I think I have other things that can beat it. Salamence and things like that, Aggron. Druddigon is, you know, a problem. Definitely a problem now that I own Sylveon, but I do still have Salamence. I'm gonna Bolt Strike. I wanna get rid of this thing. He's gonna switch into Mr. Man. No, he goes into Poop Dragon, that's fine. He's gonna see that he was predicting the switch probably. So here comes the Blue Flare. I'm gonna take damage from this, kind of unfortunate, but I will be able to, oh, I get the Para on him. Wow, Bolt Strike paralysis. I'm so sorry, but I'll take it. I'm thinking I should try to set up a substitute here, predicting a Sucker Punch or a Pursuit. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go for the substitute. If he wants to try to Dragon Tail me or whatever, he might get paralyzed. I do get the substitute up. We'll see what he's gonna go for now. He's going over the Stealth Rocks. That's fine with me. I get to fire off 2 Glaciates now, and he's running out of switch-ins. So I'm gonna set up, I'm gonna go for the Glaciate here. He got his rocks up. I still can spin though with Blastoise. I can still spin with Blastoise. We'll see if he has Sucker Punch or Pursuit. I'm gonna go for the Glaciate. So he's seen pretty much my whole set. I'm sure he can assume I either have V-Create or Blue Flare. Paralyzing that thing was huge. Now he's at about 60% para. You know, Tangrowth is at like 30% or so. Let's see here. Oh, I actually messed up. Oops, on my notes. All right, so Crobat's gone. Tangrowth is about, let's say 35%. Ozzy's at like 90%. Absol's still full. I don't think Glaciate's gonna kill, in all honesty, but it's gonna put a lot of work in, I think. I'm gonna go for the Glaciate here. We'll see if this can kill. I don't think it will. I think it's gonna be close, but I think he's gonna live on like a few HP. He does live on like 2. Speed drop obviously comes in, and he is fully paralyzed. We get the full para, man, which is huge, huge, huge. Definitely unfortunate for him. I feel really bad about the para, but gotta get rid of this thing. I think my play is to Blue Flare here. We definitely knock him out with a Blue Flare. He'll see our last move. Doesn't really matter though, but I definitely think Blue Flare is the best play. I mean, I guess I can Glaciate predicting the switch, but there's really no reason not to just go for the Blue Flare in case he wants to switch into something else. I can't really think of what he would switch into though. Potentially the Yazoo again, but he knows I have Glaciate. I'm gonna go for the Blue Flare. It does the most damage. We're not gonna take Rocky Helmet damage. So this Blue Flare should be able to come in and hopefully put in some work. It should knock something out, And now that Victini's behind a sub, like it's gonna knock this thing out, and then it's gonna hurt something else really badly. Whether it's the Tangrowth, whether it's the Yazoo, something's gotta take the hit from this thing now. Once Poop Dragon's gone, assuming he doesn't have Sucker Punch here, which I think he would have already went for. So something is gonna die. Poop Dragon and something else might die, Even if it's the Lando that I Glaciate, it'll slow it down and really help me out here. He could potentially, if Lando comes in, I might not Glaciate, because he might just U-turn. I would probably Blue Flare. He is gonna switch and save Poop Dragon on whatever percent it is. In comes Swimmersby. It's gonna take this Bolt Strike, and then I get to fire off a big hit here with my Bolt Strike on the next turn. So here comes my Blue Flare. Very, very cool animation. It's gonna do about 30%, bring him down to half. And I'm thinking he is going to want to go into his Poop Dragon here, because he wants me to take the Rocky Helmet Rough Skin damage. And I think that is a great play on his part, but I'm thinking I should just go for the Bolt Strike here and play it safe. He could just Aqua Jet break my sub here. But I don't care if I take that Rocky Helmet damage. It doesn't really matter to me. I'll get rid of his Azu. So I'm gonna go for Bolt Strike here. He is gonna switch into Dredagon, so he wants that Rocky Helmet Rough Skin damage. So that's fine. But I do get rid of the Dredagon here, and he'll get that extra damage off on me, but I'll get rid of him. And even though I take Rocky Helmet Rough Skin, Victini has done an amazing job of breaking down his team so far, and we're gonna stand alive here with a substitute up that hasn't been broken yet. We're gonna take Rough Skin, Rocky Helmet, but we're still gonna be alive. So Victini kills Dredagon with Bolt Strike, and now his Azu is at 60%. His Dredagon is gone. His Tangrowth is at like 35%. His best switch in here is his Landorus, but I'm thinking what he would do is he would go into Landorus, U-turn out, and then go into Azu to take a potential Glaciate. So I think I Blue Flare the Landorus, in all honesty. It's not resisted, so it's still gonna do a lot, and I could weaken that thing for Blastoise. In fact, Victini versus like offensive Landorus, let's just assume here. I can't Bolt Strike, so that is definitely his play. Blue Flare actually has a chance to do almost 100% to him, so my play is definitely Blue Flare on the next turn. But Dredagon is worn down, Spetzel's worn down, he's got his Absol still, but everything's getting worn down, so his play here is probably Landorus, but he probably goes to Landorus, U-turns out. I have to Blue Flare though. I cannot risk going for a, I cannot go for a Bolt Strike on the Landorus. That's too risky. I got a Blue Flare. But then that puts it in range for Aqua Jet. So here comes Mega Emo, which is actually his Absol, which dies to Blue Flare. So I think I just click Blue Flare here. Victini against Absol. I don't think this is living a Blue Flare. No, it doesn't. I'm just clicking Blue Flare here. If he wants to Sucker Punch to knock out my sub, that's fine. I'm just clicking Blue Flare. It's gonna knock it out. He's gonna stay in here, so I believe this Blue Flare should be able to knock this thing out, if I'm not mistaken, and that could be huge. He's gonna go for the Sucker Punch to break our substitute, which is fine, and I believe this Blue Flare should have no issues taking down his Absol. So here comes the Blue Flare. This should knock out the Absol. and it just straight up dies. We get a crit. The crit doesn't matter. The calc says 109 to 129. I don't think he was living that. So Victini kills Absol with Blue Flare. Now he can either go into Landorus and U-turn, or he can go into Azu and Aqua Jet, which is what he's going to do. He's going to go into Azu and Aqua Jet. So my play here is to kind of fodder off Victini, I think, at this point. I could go into Blastoise. I could. But I think I fodder Victini here. As much pressure as Victini puts on his team, I would need to Rapid Spin with Blastoise still to get it back into the match. And I just don't think it's worth trying that, because we're going to take 25%. I'm at 33 out of 187. I really don't think it's that high. It's 17%. I could save this thing. He's most likely going to Aqua Jet here, which I could bring in my Salamence on and make the prediction and save Victini for Death Fodder later. Not a terrible idea. But if I were to switch in Salamence and I lose Salamence here, that would be an incredibly stupid decision. Especially since I do still need to Rapid Spin, which I guess I could do against the Spetzel. So I'm thinking here, do I save Victini at this point in the match, or do I just play it safe, let Victini go down? The reason why I would save Victini is just because it beats the Tangrowth in one hit, whereas the rest of my team doesn't really beat Tangrowth in one hit. I'm going to make the switch. I'm going to go into Salamence here and go for the Intimidate. I know Stealth Rocks are up. I don't anticipate him going for the Play Rough. He's obviously going to go for the Aqua Jet here. It's really his only play. It makes a lot of sense for me to fodder off Victini at this point, so I do believe he's going to just go for the Aqua Jet here. If he makes a Play Rough play here and kills me, then that is the play of the century. He's going to go for the Aqua Jet, not surprised. And that does pretty much nothing. So I don't know if that means he was, you know, what that means he was. I have no idea. But Azu, I don't believe he was banded because of that. Aqua Jet would have done 15 to 18%. I don't even think it did that much. I don't think he's banded. I think he is definitely not banded. Here's the thing. Salamence right now, Thunderfang does 51 to 60.9%. It has a chance to knock him out, but it might not. I do think it's worth my time here at this point to go for the Thunderfang and try to knock him out. If he switches, then he switches, but I do think Thunderfang is my play here. I cannot risk this thing potentially setting up in my face. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. He's going to switch out into what? Into Spetzel. So he goes into Spetzel here. Fine by me. I get to go for the Thunderfang. He's going to see him Life Orb here. And I also get to go for Fire Blast now. I get a crit, doesn't matter. Take Stealth or Life Orb recoil. I'm gonna go for a Fire Blast now. Fire Blast should knock him out. Draco Meteor is another good play potentially. He might just switch here. I'm debating on whether I should try to predict him to switch out or just go for the Fire Blast. I'm thinking the Fire Blast just makes the most sense here. I mean, if he goes into, honestly, Draco's not a bad idea either. Fire Blast knocks him out. Draco definitely knocks him out. The thing is, if he goes into Azu and I Fire Blast, it's like Azu is going to take 50%. I'm going to go for the Fire Blast. Safe play. He's going to stay in. I hit the Fire Blast. Spetzel goes down. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, Salamence kills Tangrowth with Fire Blast. Now we're getting worn down. I think Salamence's usefulness is definitely pretty much expired here. I believe he's going to go into Mr. Main, which is his Landorus. I do believe I'm going to stay in here and just fire off a big Draco Meteor. If he does kill me, that is totally fine. I can kind of get a sense for what kind of set he is. He could be like Scarfed. But I'm just going to go for the Draco, because his Aqua Jet did pretty much nothing to me. So I'll go for the Draco here if for some reason I live. Then we go into Uxie after this. And hopefully Uxie can kind of wrap things up for us. I can knock off the Azu. We've got U-turn as well. I know I could take some hits from him. Blastoise can come in and can definitely put in some work. Aggron can beat the Azu still. Blastoise needs to stay at full though, just for this guy, the Landorus, so I can Scald. But as long as that stays, he's gonna go for the Psychic here. Very interesting that he's carrying it. That's probably gonna knock us out. We live on 1 and we fire off a Draco Meteor. 1 health, Earhart. You are an absolute legend. My goodness. And that just straight up knocks him out. Salamence kills Landorus with Draco Meteor. What calc was that? Oh my goodness. Salamence dies to Life Orb recoil. I believe all I need to do is go into Aggron now. And I believe that is it. Let me check my calcs, man. I don't think Azu was choice banded, but I'll check it. Choice banded Azu superpower does 56% max. I'm at 117. I'm gonna take a little bit of damage here. Do I actually go to Cerebro first and then knock off? Or do I go to Megatron first and heavy slam? The reason why I'm saying about knockoff is I can get rid of his item. I just don't want him to have an item that would be like super good against me. I don't want him to set up a belly drum or anything, you know? Especially at this point in the match with it being so close to the end. I think I go into Cerebro. How does Cerebro take on this thing? The only reason why I'm even like checking this, guys, I just don't want to butcher this somehow. I don't think he was choice banded. I really don't. He's probably like AV, but I think I should just go for the knockoff just to make sure. Do I just go to Megatron and just click heavy slam? I believe I could just go to Megatron and click heavy slam. I don't think Ozzy's gonna kill me in one hit. Heavy slam does enough to kill. I'm just gonna go to Megatron. I don't think he's banded. I really don't. He's gonna go into his Azu. And even so, I think the combination of what we have left can beat this thing. I hope that wasn't a mistake. I believe I can live. I'm 107, 175, which puts me at what? That puts me at 61%, which means if he is choice banded Azu, I 100% live. I'm going for the heavy slam. If he superpowers here, I should 100% live it if he's choice banded. And I don't think he is. That Aqua Jet did not do that much to me. I don't think he's choice banded. I think he's like AV, he could be Citrus, I don't know what he is, but I don't think he's choice banded. See what he's gonna do here. I mean, I think he's just gotta, I mean, if he is banded, he's gonna go for the waterfall here. So he's gonna try to flinch us, it looks like. That's probably his best play. You can see we eat that up, no problem. We do flinch though. Definitely unfortunate on the flinch there. I'm gonna go for the heavy slam again. He might be able to knock us out because of that flinch. He's gonna go for the waterfall again. There's a 20% chance of a flinch here. 20% chance, we're gonna live it. We go for the heavy slam. This should knock this thing out unless he's like heavily bulk invested. And it does knock out the Azu. Megatron coming through. Aggron kills Azu with heavy slam. We're gonna pick up the 4-0 victory over El Scizor. Guys, we got a little bit of luck there with that para on the Druddigon, but we played really, really well. We played super aggressively, and the Rampardos head smashed their way to victory, and our GBA stint as the Rampardos continues as we have another match in the playoffs next week. It was super intense, guys. Show your love on that like button down below for the Reds head smashing the Rampardos. Dude, how hyped are you guys? I'm so hyped right now, man. We just 4-0'd the best team in the league, like one of the top teams in the league, man. Lars is such a good battler. He's got such a good team, and we played like champions. Going super offensive was definitely the way to go. Sylveon put on a ton of pressure. Victini did something epic this week. Salaman's living on 1 HP on that Psychic from the Landorus. Super epic, guys. I'm really hyped. You guys should be too. Show your love on that like button down below. Subscribe if you're new. And that is going to be it for me, guys. Show those Rampardo shirts. Wave them high today because it is a great day for us. My name is Dan. I'll go by aDrive. I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace.